But all miracles require sacrifice. How all you want? It won't bring him back.
Welcome to another Warframe video. This one's going to be a bit different than the other ones, which is kind of going to show a few frames. Some of them are my favorite ones, but they're basically just frames that I believe everybody should have in Warframe. Or if you're a beginner or anything else like that, these are the beginning frames, I guess you could say, or the first type of frames that I believe everybody should own. Now, I might as well start it off with the guy I already have equipped. He came free, so you should already have him. If not, I'll find the way to farm him, and I'll make a video about it. However, he should be free, and if you were there for the 2 weeks, I believe you were able to get him for free. Should have been easy to get. This was the newest rendition to the arsenal of frames. Stynex, he's a 50th frame. Recently they changed him, and I think I might make a video about that because I don't think they really changed much that at least I'm too concerned about it, at least with the way I have them built. So right now you can just quickly look at the build. I'm not going to go full into detail about the mods on it. It's basically a damage and duration build. That's really what it's on. I have Prime Flow on there just to help it. But let's just simulate 5. What are they? Corrupted Heavy Grenier, or the Gunner for the Grenier. Someone did mention another mob I could do. I don't know what they call it. This is I think it's a different way. Another enemy I could do, but apparently I don't have them. I don't know where to find them at. I'll have to figure that out, but I don't have them scanned, so that sucks. But I didn't grab energy. That's okay though. So the 4 is still good. The 4 is still good. So I don't really know what a lot of people are complaining about. I think there was a thing that a lot of people were utilizing a lot is when you could use your 4 and then also use your 2nd and 3rd. If you don't know what the 3rd does, I believe like on every kill you get a certain amount of shield or health back or something along those lines. And then 2nd strips armor from everybody, and the first one is just throw that. I don't know. But you see 2nd, it turns off the armor, and then the 3rd, God, I hate this weapon so. Oh my god. Anyway, that's Stynex. You can build them again on a lot of certain things. A lot of people like range on them because of his second ability. For example, I mean, if I'm right here, it's not going out that far. But if I'm about to die, if I go here, I still not get anybody. So, I mean, that's one way you could put range on him. But really, he's just really good for dealing damage. And it's not that hard to use him. Just use your 4. And you're pretty much good. The one thing I would say is the 4, I don't think you'll ever need range. That's not really something I really care about, especially with this 4. You can use it right here. And it's still reaching them. So unless you're trying to kill them from Narnia, there is no reason to have range on this build. I don't even know if it really needs range, or for the 4th ability I should say. I mean, it has explosion range maybe, but I mean the damage is just good enough. I mean, you saw that. So long as you really just get in the vicinity. The one thing I would like to mention is duration's huge on this because of the number of javelins. But overall, apparently they nerfed him, or maybe they're going to. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know a lot of people were upset about it. I didn't really dive into it that much just because I don't know. I played him after everybody was complaining, and unless it just didn't come yet, I didn't see anything wrong. But this is a great frame for just really good damage, and I mean, if you're a beginner, you got this for free. You're really gonna have a high damage frame right off the bat, especially with the stripping armor ability. With some enemies, it might not seem like it does much. You might not see the armor being stripped, but my god, it really does help. Another one I would like to put out there. This one is gonna be a little bit more difficult to get. So with the majority of all these frames, if they have this version, get the Prime version. I mean, as you can see, I have a lot of primes just in this little frame here. But like getting regular Octavia, you have to do the quests and you have to do all these things to get her, and you have to look up basically ways to get her parts or everything like that. So some of them are going to be a little bit iffy when I say beginners, just because are they really beginner friendly in order to get them? No. However, if you go to get the Prime version of Octavia, you're in better luck. All you have to do is farm for relics, whatever. And beginner, as long as you have Cetus and you have buddies to play with, or you have a frame that's durable enough to go in public lobbies and get carried and just run around, really, you should be good getting relics, at least to get the Prime parts. And if anything, I mean, you can't always buy primes. It's better to buy the Prime than it is to buy the regular version. I mean, Octavia Prime, she might be cheaper than the actual thing. 225, I think she is, actually. Maybe. I don't know. Octavia's a really good frame. So that's just one example. It really depends. It does really depend on how beginner you are. Relics usually are easy to come by. However, to farm Axii relics is probably going to be a bit more difficult for you. I guess what I could say is as long as you get to Void and you get Cetus open and everything, you'll at least get some relics that you have the chance of getting that from somebody else. And if you get to Void, as long as you get all the missions on Void or just like a few parts, you'll have basically access to get whatever type of mod or relics you want, because Void has the survival missions, the defense missions. And with the defense missions, I think as long as you get like 3 waves and pass, you have that chance of getting Axii on the high level one. But then again, it's kind of hard to say to get prime frames as a beginner, like master rank 3, I guess, or 4, because you can get frames I think past master rank 2, prime frames at least. But I mean, getting relics, as far as it goes with that, iffy. But I'm still going to say these are beginner frames, and these are go-to frames, as in ones you need to farm to and work up towards as being your first frames. So with that, we will do Octavia. Now, I haven't messed with Octavia for a while. I mean, I got her because I knew she was great. I haven't played with her much, just because to me, she's just, you know, if you need a lot of damage dealt, you don't want to do much, you take Octavia, but she's not that fun to play with. She's just really, really useful. So I'm sure I don't even have, okay, I guess I do. So I don't know if I should focus too much about this, but I will describe the ability so you can kind of see how to build upon it. Now the first one's going to be damage, duration, and radius. Now the big thing about this is radius is huge with this, because you can take out a bunch of enemies with this. A bunch. If you have range or radius up a ton, you're gonna get out a lot of enemies quickly. However, duration is another thing where you want these type of things to last for a bit until you have to recast them. So that is another, which one do I focus on? So it could just be, you know, what do you want more of? What's more you play style? You gonna sit there for a while? Maybe just do duration and damage. Or if you're gonna see that, then again, you don't really know. It is difficult to me. I think I would focus on range a bit more than damage or than duration, just because damage is needed for sure. Granted, you could have no damage on here and still do a bunch because it's a multiplier, but I still think just having that damage is gonna be great, really. But if you don't have that many, definitely do radius and duration, so you have that duration of it being there for a long time and the radius of it getting a bunch of enemies at once, and hopefully you're in a mission that has a bunch of enemies spawn, which is what this is solely relying on. Second ability, you can partner it up with the first one. I kind of don't like to, but then again, this could be the thing where you want duration and no radius, so you just have these two things going on forever, and the radius is at 100% hopefully, or the range is at 100%, and it just does its normal thing and just goes around for a long amount of time and huge damage on it, and then kills all the enemies following it. Third one is just basically for invisibility. You can get, I don't even know how to get Umbra for. One of them you jump for. The one to be invisible for, you crouch for. I don't really know all of them. I know that these are just the added buffs that you get right away, but if you crouch on it, you're going to be invisible. I forget what the jump does. I don't really know. I forget. Amp is actually really useful. The damage multiplier gets increased from your weapons. That is great. That is very great. So this might be when you want radius on for sure, because you can go a far distance and still have that damage multiplier affected on you. So that could be good. That could be good. And I believe it does affect the range. As soon as your mallet goes in to the amp, the range of the mallet does increase. So then again, that can also fluctuate on what you want to do with the radius and duration. I have strength of duration, and range. This one's, I'm pretty sure actually I have this starred because this one was god awful, so maybe don't do that. But let's just do this one where it's rounded off pretty well with all of them. I can't build. I mean, I probably could try, but I don't want to just do it in like 5 seconds. We have that there. We'll shoot it just to kind of show. We put the fourth ability here. You can kind of see it extended a bit. Usually it's after you recast it. I mean, it is pretty large here. And boom. I mean, it's so simple. And the third, you crouch. You really just spam it. You can try to time it. Obviously, it's whatever your music is. I don't know what I put on here. I don't think I like it. I am not getting this. There we go. So you can be invisible. So she could just be a stealth frame if you want to try to get that invisible crouch thing going on. I mean, it lasts 20-30 seconds, or at least with the invisibility. So maybe that could again be another factor of why you put duration on there. You don't really need strength for it. You don't need range for it. So maybe that is a reason to focus more than on duration. I don't know. So put amp down, the first ability down. Now it's slightly larger. Before it was kind of just right here. Now it's over there. And then that was the added damage bonus, if you couldn't tell. Just the red crit was amazing, especially on this weapon. This weapon shouldn't have it, but yeah, it definitely does do a damage multiplier. It's great. It's fantastic. So that's basically Octavia. That's all I really need to know. Throw stuff down, run away, you're good. The one I do want to show here is Nesha. There is a big reason I'm going to show Nesha, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with me on this one. Nesha's so well-rounded in the way that you have that, not damage buff, but the debuff, I guess, with other enemies shooting you with the ring. And just seeing the damage that it could prevent is amazing. It's really cool. The first ability is really good for crowd control. It's also just really fun to have on. It's really fun to have on. The second ability goes with the first ability, which I will show here in a second. I know I did. I'm not describing it well, huh? The second ability goes with the first. I'll show you how in a second. And then the fourth ability, you can use it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think some people build around it. I don't, because I think the other three abilities, if you focus on at least one of them or all three, you're definitely going to have a better outcome playing with Nesha. Let me rephrase that. Playing as Nesha than you would focusing on that fourth ability, in my opinion. A lot of people like to build on it. It's a lot of the times my opinions, somebody says, well, actually, that's fine. Okay, this is just the way I like playing Nesha. I think Nesha's really good with the first three abilities. So right here, if you can't tell from the title of this mod setup, is duration and strength. It's basically focusing on, like I said, these three abilities. You could put it on the fourth ability with the, I mean, the damage is up on it, the duration is as well. The radius isn't, which I think is a huge thing with this when it's crowd control. Same thing with Firewalker. However, once you have somebody on fire, usually people next to it will be on fire. And there is, I didn't even know I had this on. And there is a mod, a specific mod. I don't think I ever got it. I don't think I ever wanted it. But what it would do for the Firewalker is it would have kind of like an explosion to it. So even though that's like explosion damage, this one would actually have, like, after 15 seconds with it, it would just explode. So there's that. But this mod here specifically, this increases ability strength by 15%. So that's going to be really nice when you don't have those extra mods, or you're just down one mod that you could use for strength. Here's the extra one. You know, something like that. I just thought it'd be a little bit useful to have. I don't even know what her passive was. I don't know if, I'm guessing I didn't care about if I added this on. Let's check. Oh yeah, I didn't care about his passive at all. Going back to it, first three abilities, what this really involves is people shooting you, and then you get that damage that was inflicted on you and multiplied. Over here, 3. I mean, you can shoot. Please. Okay, I guess. Alright, so using that, even though the radius is low, you see the little ring there. Another ring. And what this is going to do, even though they're not shooting you for some reason, if you walk towards them, they're going to be on fire. And then you can shoot them, do whatever you want. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. And then not. If you don't know, if you just hit it again, that's what's going to cause that ring, but you also teleport towards it. So maybe you'd be a little bit mindful of where you teleport to. There's not much to showcase. Damage-wise dealing, it's really just about crowd control. I mean, if they didn't have any armor at all, they probably would be gone by now. I would assume. Fire's really good for just flesh. Like Infested, Nesha is great on Infested. Let me just try to showcase that. Nesha is great on Infested. So let's just do a bunch of chargers. Fire is really good on Infested. Pro tip. I mean, it is chargers, but still. Fire is really good on them. Like, extremely good. What am I getting hit by? Oh. I forgot they can hit me. Yeah, no. Fire is extremely good. So, if you hate Infested, or you get really annoyed by them, which I know I do, so I'm sure a lot of people do too, use Nesha. It's going to make your life way more enjoyable. You're not going to be so irritated. That's Nesha. There's not really much else I can say. I'm not going to really use the fourth ability. You can use it if you want, but it's kind of like everybody else's crowd control. That spears come up and they go. So Nesha, again, very good frame. Very useful. Especially good against Infested, but also just a well-rounded frame in general. Alright, now before I get to the last frame I believe a lot of people should farm for, and some of these too, at least out of all these frames I mentioned so far, I don't think Octavia is vaulted yet. I don't think. Maybe I'm just some more and I just somehow have a bunch of the relics. But all these frames have not been vaulted yet. They haven't, and the original versions are obviously still available to get. I don't think you're horrible at the game because you have regular Nesha, because it's easier to get. Just want to point that out. But the bonus is vaulted, and I found this out recently. I didn't think they were vaulted. Titania Prime. Amazing frame. Now, the one thing I do want to point out here is one, again, I don't have the greatest build. I didn't put an organ cell in here. I needed to get one. But there is one thing I definitely want to point out, and that is the fourth ability. I don't know what I'm doing with the second ability. It is very annoying, is all I've got from it. It is very annoying. I've used Full Moon, and that's about it. That's really all I get from it, or what I'm getting from it. I don't really understand what the other ones are doing. I don't really see a thing. I mean, Thorn says 50% damage, so maybe I guess I'll use that. But then Full Moon also says 75% damage. I don't know what the hell. What does that mean? Anywho, second ability, I'm not going to focus on because I don't know a thing about that, or if there's a good way to use it. I don't know. I just know the duration on it is insane. Razor Wing and Lantern are the ones I'm going to be focusing on here. These ones have come in clutch. I love them. They're great. Spectacular, some might say. You know, it's great. I love it. I'm just going to show it. Okay, 20 regular ones. We're not going to go through that. So, finally get to showcase this third ability. Boom. Cast it. All the other ones are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Kill them. You could just do a little dash. Whatever the second ability. No, here, let's try. Boom, you walk in it. Apparently that gives me more shield, I think. I don't know. But basically, the thing with this that I love is one, none of them are shooting me. That's one thing that I can mention. None of them are shooting me. This one's about to die. That's amazing. Use the 3 again. Why not? They're not gonna shoot me. They're not shooting me. Look at them. Look at them. One more. Look at that. One more. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here. It's great. It's great. I love it, especially against, I mean, normal missions, I guess, when you're not going to, I don't know, forget Zerman. You're not doing that. I mean, the fourth ability is going to be useful in every other circumstance. Now we're out of it, you know. And then now we just kill them like, oh, and they're all distracted. They're not coming after me. And then that fourth ability, again, any actual mission you're going to be in, except for the Zerman, you're gonna go in it with ease using that fourth ability. It's gonna be easy. Titania is really used for capture missions a lot. Exterminate, really any mission if you want to get it done quickly. Take Titania, you're done. The one thing I do have to say about it is kind of difficult to build. A little bit. If I had this extra slot open, I'm either gonna make it a strength mod or I'm gonna make it a efficiency mod, because the fourth ability relies on efficiency, the third one doesn't. So really nothing relies on efficiency except for Razor Wings. I just wanted to show how good she is. I got her recently. Fantastic. Love it. All right, now the last one I have to say, and this one's kind of hard. This is not in any order, by the way, but this is kind of difficult to choose because I have a few in mind here. Going back to the beginner aspect, one friend that is beginner that you can get immediately and that you will have fun with and that you can utilize pretty well. You think I might say Umbra, right? Umbra was kind of still is the logo of this channel. But behold, he's not in this video. I'm kidding, he is. So, Umbra, you thought I was going to Volt Prime, are you kidding me? Volt Prime is great. That was the one I was going back and forth on. Because in my head here, I was thinking of 3 characters. Wisp, Umbra, and Volt. And I was thinking, between all of these, what can I choose that's going to be the best thing for a beginner, that somebody can have access to? And what mods make it very, very good to use? And I had to choose Umbra. The reason is because Wisp, you're going to need a good build for Wisp. I think a lot of people know that you need a good build for Wisp. If you don't, which beginners don't have a lot of mods, it does take a little bit to get to that area where you're just going to get constant good mods. You're going to be able to buy from Bear all the time, all this stuff. Yeah, you're not going to have it. Okay, sorry to say it. You're not going to have it for Wisp. Even though Wisp is amazing, you're not going to have it for Wisp. Volt, on the other hand, his shield, fantastic. His shield is great, right? His shield is fantastic. But the thing I had to do with that is, even though his other abilities are great, his fourth ability, which I have a mod for, gives you shield when you use it, and the amount of enemies it affects shows on the amount of shield. So you're basically like a hero, but with your fourth ability. That's great. But with Umbra, the thing is, he has a bunch of mods for him. Not only that, This is good with regular Excalibur too, by the way. Multiple mods, some that I don't even have. I think two or three other ones I don't have. Also, if you get Umbra specifically, you have all these 3 mods. These mods are fantastic for a beginner. I mean, people may argue, well, look, you can have better mods, you can have better mod setups, you have all these other frames that you could build very well. But even though I did just mention a frame that's vaulted, did say bonus, by the way, you look at this frame and you immediately think Excalibur beginner logo of Warframe, right? With Umbra, not only is it Excalibur, easy to use, sword, kill, boom, right? You also have these 3 mods that come with Umbra that give you health, armor, and damage, which is all you need with Umbra. This is all you need with Umbra. Now, I have a dumb build here. I don't know why the hell this is here and this together. I don't really like two things together, but I see where I went with this. Radio Howl. This is the one thing different with Umbra and Excalibur. Excalibur has a sword in the sky. Umbra has a howl. Do the same thing. Howl just looks cooler. So I mean, they're both going to be on radius and duration. None of them are affected by damage. It's just radius and duration. Duration is 21 seconds that I have right now. Radius 36.25. I don't know. This shouldn't be on Howl, by the way. Don't pay attention to that. But we go to Blade here. Chromatic Blade. Status chance. Amazing, right? We go to his Blade. Put status. Build on status. Trust me. It shreds. I mean, melee mods are one of the easiest mods to come across. From what I've experienced, melee mods are one of the easiest to get, okay? And then when you get Umbra, you get it, just the blade itself. You're going to have a mod that comes with it. I'm pretty sure, at least. You're going to have the mod that comes with it, and then you could build upon that blade, even in the frame itself. So not only can you build on the blade, but you can also build on him. So you have status here. We're going to get energy. Flow's somewhat easy to go by. Just keep playing missions on Void. You'll find flow. Probably should put invisibility on, but let's just go over here. We're going to use Howl. Use Howl. Level 90, 95. One of your best weapons is going to be a melee to start off with. All your melees are going to be better than your primary and secondary as a beginner. Because one, I'm pretty sure you get better mods for the melee when you're a beginner. Why I'm saying your melee is going to be great is his ability, his passive. I think is the same for regular Excalibur as well, but you get more damage with your swords. So this one, if I change it to his signature one, ooh baby, is it going to be easy peasy, So we're going to go back here. Maybe let's not focus on the blade. Let's focus on 2, 3, 4. What is 2, 3, 4? 1, second, third, fourth ability. We're not going to... There is a mod for the dash. I don't have it. I didn't care for it. Furious Javelin is what I'm going to look at here. And this is really going to make the third ability really useful. And Furious Javelin, I already made a video about Syndicates. One of the most useful things in the game. Go to Syndicate. Get through this. You'll have it. If you don't have it, I mean, you could probably still use Furious Javelin, but the second ability is really going to come in clutch here as well. So go here, simulate these again. I think it might be way too much. Howl 3. No, I did Mercy on accident. Let me go this. Finisher kill. Oh my god. Finisher kill. Boom. Finisher kill. Boom. And the reason I pair it with the third ability, and why I say, oh, the third ability, even though I'm using the second ability to stun them, the third ability is giving you that damage. Just to kind of clarify again what the third ability does with that mod on it. So each enemy hit will increase Excalibur's melee damage by 50% for 16 seconds. So you'll see that at the top right here. Third. And then you see it at the top right, 294. And then you just go through. And then pairing this up with the fourth ability then. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But all these are frames that you should farm relics for. If you can't get to relics, I did make a video on the best places to farm for relics. Every specific one, those are old. They might need to be updated soon because of Prime Resurgence and Steinix's update. But those are my not only favorite, but also frames that I believe people should farm for, because not only does it make your life a lot easier with these frames, because they're useful in almost every situation, but they're also just nice frames to have. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy.
But you have never had to sacrifice your love for faith. Imagine to live forever with only one memory.